Let me give you the political outcome of these elections. The political outcome of this election said, ANC, go get your brothers. Ne? Don't even go get your brothers. ANC, go get yourselves. EFF is mus ANC. MK is mus ANC. So go get yourselves, right? And come and govern and progress. What did we do? We went and got people that were not.
We went and begged the master to come and run the country with us.
We hate ourselves so much that we don't even realize that the people that we want to reconcile with are not ready to reconcile with us.
To me, Rick interjected and slept. Talk to me about a conference at DA where the majority of the people that attend the conference are black and the majority of leaders in the podium are white, and those ones, they see themselves as sophisticated blacks, clever blacks. Baba endosang lekgowa and Baba ling happy gore. Yes, we don't want this ANC and we don't want whatever and all that, and they forgetting the struggle. Come kanako ya di decision making, they are not there. The master is in on top there and telling them what to do.
Steve Biko says, and I quote, apartheid does not save people, its enemies, unless it has got a purpose of using them in the future.
What are you saying loosely?
I'm saying the number of people that went to prison, they came the same number when they got out. But the people that were isolated and died later, Masemola, Sobukwe, we must ask the question, why is it that members of the PAC who were imprisoned, all of them died? Why is there no member of the Black consciousness except Terale Kota who went to prison? All of them were killed before they arrived at prison. Why is it that Steve Biko was eliminated? What was Steve Biko having that threatened our vote?
Plusing. What the plusing is gonna call each and every one of you. The same story. You are in charge of this farm, and ushebe babangwe and tell you all exactly. So as a result, locally dimpimpi and hali away but we want to please the master. When the master is happy, heavens is happy.
The product and the purpose of apartheid and colonization is to create a black person or a slave that continues to enslave themselves, even if slavery has been abolished on the books.
Yeah. Looking into the time, it's 10 after the hour, 8 o'clock. A beautiful Sunday morning, cold. That is like a great morning.
Good morning, that morning.
How are you?
Well, I cannot complain.
It's good.
That there's no water in the pipes.
It's cold.
Yeah.
A freezer.
Yo.
Yeah, that's like today. I think we're doing this for 20 minutes. Let's talk about freedom, because we need let us define what is freedom, and also get into what is the freedom of South Africa that we are having. Freedom.
All right. Freedom is combination of two words that the English coin. It's free and dominate.
Yes.
Those are two words. And when you put them together, you get freedom. But what is freedom that we wanted for our country? Did we want freedom to go and stay in town? Is that what we expected as freedom? If that is,
let's start there. That's why I wanted a definition of freedom. Freedom, it's two words that you're correctly saying as you coined it. It's domination. It's free and dominate.
Yeah.
So, Tina, in South Africa, what are we having? Because we are not dominating.
We are not even free.
We are not even free.
Correct.
We are not dominating. We are not free.
Yes.
What are we having?
We are having democracy, and democracy is not freedom. That's what we are having. When we were fighting for freedom, there were a number of aspects that we were fighting for. The first item on the bill was that we are fighting for our land to return. Statistics are showing that 72% of the land still remains in the minority, and we are only cramped. If we take blacks, coloreds, and Indians who are black as and when it suits them, coloreds who are black as and when it suits them. When we take them together, including blacks, we do not even form 20% of what we call land. So we didn't go into freedom, into the fight for freedom to have a vote. It was not number one in the agenda. Of course, it was number one in the agenda of the ANC. But it was not number one in the agenda for fight for freedom. If you take the ideologies of ANC and PAC and you put them together, you take the ideologies of black consciousness and you put them together, you realize that our intention has never been to vote. Our intentions has never been to be at the levels of power without economy.
But what then went wrong? Was this done deliberately, that when we were bargaining at CODESA, was it done deliberate that we focus on voting but the economy remains in the white hands?
Steve Biko says, and I quote, apartheid does not save people, it's enemies, unless it has got a purpose of using them in the future.
What are you saying loosely?
I'm saying that the number of people that went to prison, they came the same number when they got out. But the people that were isolated and died later, Masemola, Bosobukwe, we must ask the question, why is it that members of the PAC who were imprisoned, all of them died? Why is there no member of the black consciousness except Terale Kota who went to prison? All of them were killed before they arrived at prison. Why is it that Steve Biko was eliminated? What was Steve Biko having that threatened our vote?
Maybe they could not tame him. And will I be right to say that? They could not tame him, and then they decided that they must terminate.
The product and the purpose of apartheid and colonization is to create a black person or a slave that continues to enslave themselves, even if slavery has been abolished on the books.
Yeah.
And that is the purpose of apartheid. And apartheid has succeeded. When you fight for black people, you use one hand to fight the enemy. And the other hand that you use is to fend black people that are fighting you on behalf of the enemy. And that's the challenge that we are having. And that's why CODESA came with the results that it came with.
But we accepted it. And also, why for an example, during the freedom or after we took over, there were a number of things that were not done. An example was, now that we are in power, we need to re-educate our people that now when we fight or when we've got issues, we're no longer banning. You cannot want a school and ban a clinic. You cannot want something and do that. But we have continued to do that. It shows that we were not even free in the mind.
We are not free in the mind. We are not still free in the mind. And let me give you what Moses Kakan is saying. Moses Kakan is saying, we hate blackness to a level that we fight us without being put together to fight. Let me give you the political outcome of these elections. The political outcome of this election said, ANC, go get your brothers. Ne? Don't even go get your brothers. ANC, go get yourselves. EFF is mus ANC. MK is mus ANC. So go get yourselves, right? And come and govern and progress. What did we do? We went and got people that were not.
We went and begged the master to come and run the country with us.
We hate ourselves so much that we don't even realize that the people that we want to reconcile with are not ready to reconcile with us.
Is it a question of being ready, or is it a question of them knowing that we are not? Because, for an example, if you go back to a speech of 1988 of P.W. Botha, he said exactly about some things about us. And yesterday I am driving Ne? I am driving between Tower Mall and that circle. In Suris. And there's a leader who said, these people, they're going to get to a stage where it becomes normal in them to work over a sewage. And this is exactly what the black person is doing today.
It's normal. Forget sewage. Forget sewage. It's normal for us to wake up with 10 of us dead without having a natural cause. Dead as a result of our own actions against one another. It has become normal. Have you ever heard us talking about it in the funeral? In the funeral, we preach the Bible. We never say to people, stop maiming and killing one another. It's not progressive. It's not cool. We are not saying that. Why are we not saying that? It's because we have normalized being killed. We have normalized dying as if dying is a benefit. It's not. We have normalized being, how do you put it?
Is it normalizing it, or the environment that we are staying in and the situations that we have found ourselves in, that we have now accepted mediocre, we have now accepted the unacceptable thing? And isn't it this the system that has been put into place? So as we do that, for an example, a black man has been taught not to love himself. We don't love ourselves, and self-love is not there. We never thought about this. And as a result, like you correctly said, let's take a scenario of Godi Plasing. Godi Plasing is going to call each and every one of you. Abaleblela the same story. You are in charge of this farm, and ushebe babangwe and tell you all exactly. So as a result, locally lidimpimpi and ali away gore lidimpimpi. But we want to please the master. When the master is happy, heavens is happy.
We want validation. And we do not want validation from our own kind. We want validation from another kind. That's the problem.
To serve the master.
It feels good to serve the master. Let me put it this way.
Talk to me. Talk to me about a conference here, DA, where the majority of the people that attend the conference are black, and the majority of leaders in the podium are white. And those ones, they see themselves as sophisticated blacks, clever blacks. Baba endosang lekgowa and Baba ling happy gore. Yes, we don't want this ANC, and we don't want whatever and all that. And they forgetting the struggle. Come decision making. They are not there. The master is on top there and telling them what to do.
Natasha Mazzoni says, and I quote,
yes,
black in the DA are experiments.
Jesus.
We can be as racist as we come against them. They come crawling back to us. End quote.
Being smart or dumb.
Black people in the DA,
yes,
let's repeat this for their ears, and they must listen with open ears. Natasha Mazzoni says, we can be as racist as we can be, but black people who are experiments will come. When you dispose of Mazibuko as an experiment, my man thinks he's going to become a better experiment. He comes, he takes over. When you dispose my man and Mashaba, another one, Baloi, comes in. Selepe comes in. That's who we are. And until such time that we realize that we can be human beings without white people.
Are we then to agree to say black people have got this tendency of thinking the moment they are closer to a white man, they are better?
Exactly. That was the outcome of apartheid and colonialism. You separate us as in terms of our ethnics, and you separate us from you. And then when we come to you, closer to you, we think we have arrived. That was the product. That is why they say, that is why they represent heaven as whiteness. Yeah.
But now, the problem that we are having is leaders and their agenda. The agenda of our leaders in the last 30 years, they have betrayed the nation. They have betrayed our Minyama, because we have maintained status quo of these white people. And
first of all, let's not say leaders. You see, the problem of South Africa is not leaders. We don't have leaders. We have politicians who are trying to become leaders. We don't have leaders. You see, you must first be a leader and then become a politician. But us, we are politicians that are trying to become leaders, and that's where the gist stops. Now, a politician is a product of popularity. That's why he's voted for. A leader is a product of principle. That's why he's not popular. Because principle is not popular. Because principle is truth. And truth is not very popular. That's why it is coined in the Bible, like truth shall set you free. You want freedom? Confront the truth about yourself. What is the truth about yourself? The truth about yourself is that you can't define yourself except when you define yourself in terms of whiteness. The day we define ourselves outside whiteness, we will start to move towards freedom. I was on Twitter this morning, and I was looking at people attacking Traore and company in the West Africa. They say they all started here. They all ended up as militaristic people that are in charge of Africa. Nobody says this is a different type of a black man, 34 years of age, very, very clued up. He knows what he's doing. He is nationalizing all the French companies that were there. He's making them a government. Now, black people attack Traore. And you say,
are we not trained that way? Are we not trained to attack our own? Are we not trained to do that? Because it looks like we've got those tendencies of looking good. But what about Shebana?
Yeah.
As compared to work together like the Afrikaners, the Jews, the Indians, and other nations.
Exactly. Remember, colonization and apartheid wanted to create the first black and the only black. That's how we reason. You become the first black. And we become excited when we are called, hey, Hlangi is the first black man to have a radio station in the Northwest. You become excited as if it's a title. It's not a title. You are only saying one black person has emerged, and we know that other black people will never form a scrum around him so that he doesn't fail. We know. They will actually pull him down. We've got a pull-down syndrome, very strong one. But that is a product of what we have been taught. Our education system. I always say, apartheid wasted our time by giving us mental 2 times 2 is 4. By giving us recitation, by giving us everything. But it is that produced Sobuk. It is that produced Nelson Mandela. It is that produced Steve Biko. And then we came, Kabo Enjiga 30%. Where are we? Where are we?
No, remember, the NC got 39%, so they've asked for it. That's why they got 30. And they still see their president as someone who could still save them. He has failed. But anyway, let's come back to these ones. You're tuning into 102.9. We are having radical conversations, Linda Deslepe. And Deslepe, now this freedom, you are talking about the system of education. The problem is, Batubaruna, until today, and I'm going to say it again, we're not getting results because we are still teaching Kapuo Esinyarun. If you were to teach mathematics ka Setswana or ka East Coast or ka, because ma Afrikaner ba etsa yalo, ma China ba etsa ka Mandarin, ma French ka se French, rona re etsa yalo be re batla go ajua gore no, it is a business language.
Maybe we must define education. Education is a process of transferring knowledge into a person without knowledge. Now, what is the knowledge that we are transferring? That's the problem. Is it African knowledge? No. Is it African knowledge? No. Has the Zimbabweans that we think are educated and Nigerians, have they transferred African knowledge? No. Until we determine what is that which we are transferring, we will not define that we should be free from what to what.
But we are not ready. We we're closing down universities that were our own universities, and we are not raising deans that are becoming proud of who we are and reteaching and re-engineering the curricula that is being taught. All that we are doing, that is like we are taking our own children into the white men's school, into the so-called Model C schools, and we become comfortable by doing that. I can tell you now, 95% of teachers who are teaching in townships, in those township schools. What does that say about us?
95% is an understatement. All of them are not there, including the children of police and everybody else. As long as you work in government and you are the so-called middle class. I told you a story. I even posted on Facebook to say I'm sitting at Methodist church, at Methodist primary school. I'm one of the blacks that are there. There's no white parent who's bringing their children here, and this school is in the middle
of the suburb
of white people.
So we are chasing white
and
people.
All the teachers are white in that school.
So now here's the question. In that case, our children are learning a culture. But because no, that you're lying. That you're lying, it's not true. The culture, then it's us. The problem is with us that we are relying on this person, including the reason why also our hospitals are not working. It is because Ronabali Medical Aid, Riako private hospital. Yes. Including Manasa, the doctors, they don't sleep in politicians, they don't sleep there, they go to private.
Exactly. You see, a white person is clever. He creates a hospital for the elite. Forget the private hospital. Military hospital is for the elite. The president is treated at a military hospital.
Yes.
Do you know who's treating the president? They don't bring their own black doctors. They are being treated by a white doctor who's a brigadier in the military. They trust him with their lives.
Yeah. And that brigadier can kill them.
And that, I'm saying to you, President Mandela trusted a white secretary. With the secret of the country, he trusted the white secretary. And we think he's clever. We think he's clever.
Can we agree that we are going to continue these conversations next week and say, was he Mandela or was he a cloned Mandela? And we are going to explore these things. We are going to touch on these things that people do not want to talk about them. And also talk about, again, we are finalizing the issue of freedom. To be able to say he came into jail radical, he comes out tamed. And also trusting the white man, lived in the Menel house, lived into and school who was funding. Can we do that?
We do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is Radical Conversation Part 1. Part 2, we are going to do it next week. Until then, thank you so much.